What's up everyone, it's Kelly and today I've got another swatch review for you. So today we are talking about the newest from ILNP, their Eternal collection for winter 2024, which is actually coming out this Friday, November 1st. Now before we get into it, if you haven't heard of ILNP before, they are an independent nail polish brand that is based in the US, and all of their polishes are 10 free, meaning they are free of 10 of the potentially harmful ingredients that can be found in nail polish. They are vegan, meaning they do not use any animal-derived ingredients, and they're also cruelty-free, meaning they do not test their products on animals. So the Eternal collection has 6 brand new nail polishes, and they're all in the ultra metallic formula, which I'm not sure if I've talked about it before on my channel, but basically it's just these really metallic flaky polishes that also have a hollow sparkle running throughout. Now I will warn you, the hollow tends to be a little bit shy on camera just because the metallic flakies are so shiny, but in real life, especially with direct sunlight, you do get a lot of that rainbow sparkle as well. And we also actually have a pretty interesting color story here. We're definitely focusing on these cool, soft, wintry tones, but a lot of the shades do seem pretty similar, so I'm curious to see them side by side. But yeah, let's just dive into the swatches, then we talk a little bit more about my thoughts on them, pricing, availability, all that good stuff, so roll the swatch footage. So as with all of my swatch and review videos, I am using base coat underneath all of my swatches just to protect my natural nail and prevent any stains. Today it's the Orly Bonder base coat. So I'm going to start off with this shade Crystal. This one is what I would consider to be a champagne, and again it's in that ultra metallic formula. So we've got a sheer sort of base, and then it's totally packed with these almost white metallic flakies running throughout, as well as a hollow shimmer running throughout. So you can see, especially in this example, the metallic flakies are just so vibrant that it's kind of hard to see the hollow in there, but around the cuticle area, especially where it's a little bit out of focus, that's where you can start to see that rainbowy color coming through, and that's how it looks across the whole nail. Especially in sunlight, it becomes a lot more pronounced. But what I think is really interesting about this polish is that this is a great example of how your undertone can affect certain colors. So this is a champagne color. It should have a little bit of warmth to it, and it does in the bottle, but because I am very yellow toned, on me it almost takes on a silvery color. So I thought that was really interesting. I think if you have a cooler tone, it's probably going to end up looking a little bit warmer on you, and then if you're neutral, it'll probably have that more true champagne kind of color. But on me, definitely leaning a little bit more silvery. Next up we have the shade Frosted Rose, and this one, as you could probably guess from the name, is a dusty rose base color. Again, totally packed with those super metallic flakies, as well as a hollow sparkle running throughout. And this one, actually, you can see a little bit more of that base color coming through. In the shade Crystal, it was fully opaque in 2 coats, but because it kind of had a lot of similarities to my skin tone, I felt like it could look a little bit sheer at certain angles. This one, you can definitely see the opacity better of how this collection applies, and it really is super opaque, which I think is very impressive for a jelly formula, especially one as buildable as this. And again, you can see around that cuticle area a little bit better how that hollow sparkle starts to show through. So it's a really stunning shade. It definitely leans on the cooler side, as the vast majority of this collection does, and it does have that really beautiful icy feel with those metallic flakies in there. Okay, so now we're getting into what I would consider to be an interesting choice from ILNP as to how to curate this collection, and that is the 3 very similar shades. So this first one is called Love Spell. This one's described as being a lavender color, but I found it to be a little bit more of a periwinkle. Now again, this might be due to my undertones, and being a little bit warmer could make the color look a little bit cooler toned, because against the other shades I do see a lot more of a purpley vibe, but this one is definitely a cool toned shade. And again, we've got that ultra metallic formula, we've got that beautiful hollow shimmer running throughout, and again, I just cannot emphasize this enough, it is way more holographic in person. So there's really a lot going on with these shades, and again, we just get this beautiful iciness to the color, but you still just get so much color going on in there with the hollow. And then we have the shade Winter Dream, which is another one of these very cool similar shades, and this one is actually described on the website as being a lavender blue. So again, I feel like this on its own is looking to me like a very periwinkle shade. Next to the other shade Love Spell that I just reviewed, I would say this definitely looks like a full blue to me, but again, just a really nice formula, really nice opacity, and you can just see how vibrant and cool toned and beautiful that color is. It kind of reminds me of like a frosted painted over lake, but after the snow has passed and you just get this really beautiful wintry blue sky reflecting on it, because you get all of that icy white metallic flaky, but you also get little hints of rainbow. So really stunning shade. This might be my favorite of these cooler, similar tones, but it's hard to say because they are pretty similar. And then the third and final of the blue toned polishes is this one, Snowkissed, and this one is the lightest, iciest sort of blue, so it almost has a little bit of a silvery sheen to it, which is definitely built up a little bit more by having those beautiful ultra metallic flakies. And this one is super reflective. It actually reached full opacity in 2 coats, but around the cuticle area you can actually see the reflection of me in there. Once it dried, I feel like you could see a little bit of that rainbow color a little bit better, but in general, these ultra metallics are just so reflective. If they weren't such tiny little flakies, I feel like it would almost have a mirror-like finish, but even as it is right now, they definitely do have an almost mirror-like finish, so they're very reflective, very beautiful, and again, very rainbowy. And then last but not least, we have this shade Forever, which is described as an emerald green, and this one is just absolutely stunning. It's this beautiful, very, very cool toned green, almost a little bit of a blue tinge in there, and this is the kind of evergreen color that always makes me think of the holidays, so I love that. It's still very green, but it's also like a little bit more muted, but then we get it in this beautiful ultra metallic formula, so you also get a little bit of the rainbow in there. It just feels, I don't know, like elevated green to me. So love this one, super opaque, perfect opacity in 2 coats. This one actually might be my favorite of the collection. And here are all the shades together. I kind of switched around the order just so you could see on the bottom row the 3 shades that are very similar, and then on the top row we have the shades that aren't as similar, although I will say, looking at them all together, it does kind of feel like a muted Christmassy vibe to me, so I like that as well. But yeah, I did want to see the blue purple shades side by side because I wanted to know just how similar they are, and looking at them side by side, they are actually different enough, in my opinion, to justify owning all of them, so I do like that. I like the differences in there being subtle, but also enough that if I'm looking for a particular type of shade, like if I want a very icy blue, the only option is Snowkissed, or if I want something with a little bit of a purpley tone in there, then I would go for Love Spell. So it's nice to have those options in there, and I think these would also pair really beautifully together. Honestly, I do feel like there's a few opportunities to do Skittle manicures here, so I like that as well. I think this collection is very well curated, even though I wasn't necessarily expecting the colors to be very similar. I think they ended up looking really nice together. But yeah, let's talk about this a little bit more. So yeah, those are the polishes, and honestly, I really enjoyed these. I feel like the ultra metallics aren't really talked about a lot, which I don't understand why, because I think they're really stunning, and I think it's a relatively unique formula. It's just one of those polishes that really looks good indoors with indirect lighting, or outdoors or with direct lighting, so it's really nice no matter how you see it. And this collection in particular happens to have some really gorgeous colors, so I really enjoyed those as well. This is definitely within my wheelhouse of favorite colors, so I do love having the very subtle variations here, just because sometimes I want to pick a certain color, but I want to have like a very subtle difference from what I already have, so it's nice to have those options. Now, as far as pricing and availability, all of these polishes come in 12 milliliter bottles. They do have what I like to call a medium wide flat brush, and they have a straight tip, but I will say application is really easy with these. It's definitely a beginner friendly formula, and it's also very nice and buildable, so you can really play around with it, and it also levels very nicely on the nail. Like I said, these polishes are coming out this Friday, November 1st. They are going to retail for $10 USD each, but if you get them during the pre-order, they're going to be $9 USD each, because during their pre-order, they're always $1 off. So I always like to get my reviews up early so you can grab them during the pre-order and get a little discount. But yeah, I'm curious to hear from you. What do you think of this collection? Which color is your favorite? Are you planning on picking up any of the colors? Let me know in the comments. We can chat about it. And if you enjoy my swatch and review videos, please hit that like button. It really helps me out. If you're not already subscribed to my channel, I would really appreciate if you could subscribe. I love you all, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye. I found some really difficult would you rather questions, so I'm gonna throw some at you today. I'm gonna answer them as well, but I want to hear your responses in the comments. Today's is, would you rather have to use shrimp flavored toothpaste or deodorant that smells like cheese. I don't think either of those options are ideal, but the one thing I'm pretty sure that the mintiness of toothpaste is only just so your mouth feels fresh and it doesn't actually like affect the effectiveness of toothpaste. So I'm leaning towards that, but do I always want to have shrimp breath? But then again, I feel like the smell of cheese mixed with body odor would actually be worse. So I think I am gonna pick shrimp toothpaste. And as a bonus, I don't know, maybe it'll get me excited for the day because in the morning when I'm brushing my teeth, I'll be like, wow, I'm in the mood for shrimp. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe it'll make me hate shrimp, but it wouldn't be great at night. I don't know. This is a tough one. So let me know your responses in the comments and I will see you all in my next video. Bye.